How's it going, everyone? It is Prashan here, and we're going right into it. This deck is the deck I'm using most after post infinite, after reaching infinite, to maintain my rank and gain rank. And Prodigy has been a solid card in Marvel Snap. I did have my original Prodigy review where I felt like it was a pretty good card. I was just having bad luck in my games, and I was getting Shang-Chi'd left and right because it was a heavy Thanos meta. I feel like everything's smoothed out. There's a lot of surge decks where everyone's ramping up, but this is a solid build. Scream has been nerfed over and over again, but Scream is still strong. So let's go over this deck. Let's go over everything card by card, and then I'll show you some of the games that I played with this where I had some pretty strong wins. So let's get right into it. So the first card we have here is Batroc. I typically play him on turn 1. That way you can move the shield around and all that good stuff, and Batroc will follow the shield. Whenever he moves, you gain +2 power. And if you have bad luck, right, and you don't pull him until turn 5, you can always play one of the later cards I'll talk about later in this list. You could play Aero or Cannonball and have him follow that card, and he can win you a lane or help out win out a lane that way. Or you could do the opposite. You could play Aero or Cannonball, then play him. That way you don't move things in certain directions, right? You don't want him to move in another lane and follow the card that's moved. Or last resort, you could play him in the front 2 spots of a location. That way your Prodigy can copy your Kraven or copy your Scream for maximum results. Next here we have Scream. This is the card I want to copy the most with Prodigy, because whenever you move things around, your opponent is going to pay. Even if they have a Luke Cage, we'll talk about another card that we have in this deck later. We don't care. We're still going to move things around, and we're going to make them pay with Scream and Prodigy copying. So typically on turn 2, I do want to try to play this or Kraven if I can. And we have Captain America Sam Wilson, and of course we have the shield. So if I can't play Kraven or Scream on turn 2, I'm obviously going to play this card, and I'm going to move things around. And if you have Batroc on the board already, you're already moving the shield, and then you have Batroc moving around too, and he just follows that shield wherever that shield goes. And the shield helps out too with Prodigy, so you can move the shield into a location where it takes up the front 2 spots, and you can play Prodigy to copy a Kraven, to copy another card that moves, or to copy Scream. Most of the time I want to try to copy that Scream. And next here we have Kraven. Whenever cards move into this lane, he gains +2 power. So just be wary of Shadow Kings and Red Guardians. I don't really see that much Shadow King in the meta, but we do see tons of Red Guardians. So those are the 2 cards I would be careful with or be wary of. And of course Shang-Chi if this gets ridiculous. But this is another card that you could copy with Prodigy. And we have Old Faithful Spider-Man. He's a 2/4. Typically I want to play him later in the game. Typically I want to play him on a turn 4 instead of on curve on turn 2. Unless they're doing something crazy where you're like, oh, I don't like that card in that lane, or I should move this. That's the only time you're going to play him on curve, but typically you're going to play him on turn 3, 4, or later. Next we have Red Guardian. Red Guardian is so good, especially against surge decks, right? Because you just turn the power off whenever you hit this into a surge. And you could do this against if they have a Mobius on the board by itself in the lane, you can play Red Guardian. That way it doesn't affect your Miles Morales. You can also do this onto an Iron Man or something if they're going crazy in some lane and they can't use the Mystique because you had priority. This card can be a beast and be your saving grace, and then especially against cards like Thanos decks too, right? If you hit a Space Stone, Thanos can be played anywhere. If you play this into a Power Stone, he doesn't go all the way up to 22 power or 20 power, wherever Thanos is. He doesn't go up to that power, and this is an awesome card to have in this deck. And next we have Prodigy, the newest card in Marvel Snap. This card is so good. Obviously, I want this card to copy Scream. That way you have the maximum effects and you just take down your opponent's board. But you can also copy Kraven. You can also copy other move cards like Cannonball or Aero if you need to on the final turn as well. And then you have cards to move in that lane like I spoke about before, like Captain America's shield, Batroc. You could use like maybe like Spider-Man or something to move something into another lane, have the Spider-Man take the second spot, and then play Prodigy behind whatever card you need to play him behind. And this card just steals wins. And this is our first card that moves things around, or second card technically. We had Spider-Man, now we have Polaris. So solid. I definitely want to try to play her on curve if you can. And of course, if you have Kraven on the board, play her onto Kraven, a lane with Kraven in it. Or if it's like a Scream is on the board, you just want to go the opposite direction, right? And next we have Enchantress. This is our card that counters a lot of stuff. It counters those crazy ongoing decks out there. It like counters those like Goliaths. It counters those Iron Men. It counters those Ant-Men that are out there. Just be careful of Cosmo, right? Because sometimes they play like Ant-Man and they play like Goliath, and then they'll play Cosmo to like protect all of them. So just be wary of that. But this can give you tons of games, especially against those toxic decks. Like I made a toxic deck a few days ago, but this gives toxic decks fits, especially with those Luke Cages and Ajaxes on the board. And we have Miles Morales. This card is so good. I don't play him unless he's a one cost for the most part, but he can be countered by Mobius, so just be wary of that. And yeah, he could also be a surprise card where your opponent's not realizing you could play a 3-drop like a Polaris, and you could play him on a turn 4, which is ridiculous. Like all that power on turn 4, and they're scrambling to see what they have to do. And then especially with cards like Cannonball, like there's nothing much they can do. Like, especially when you're moving things around with Spider-Man, Polaris, you're filling up lanes. Like, they have no choice but to play in a certain lane, and Cannonball just finishes them off. And lastly, we have our last move agent, Aero, 5'9", solid stats. You're just moving things around, and then this could sway the game in your favor. Final turn, you just move this card into your location. And if you have a Prodigy that copied Scream, this does double the work. And then you have Batroc on the board too, moving around. Like, there's so much potential final game swing. Or you play Aero and the Miles too. Like, insane plays. Final turn just gives you the dub. So that is it for this deck. Hopefully you guys have better understanding, and the games give you a better understanding of what I'm trying to explain. So let's get into it. Crown City is the first location. We have Aero, Cannonball, Spider-Man, and they are snappy on turn 1. Interesting. We do have Aero and Cannonball here. White Palace. So they're either going to copy Cannonball or Aero. We copy a Gwenpool from them. Let's go Captain America. Surge. Scary, I think. Let's move the shield. Let's go Red Guardian. We stopped the ramp, right? The ramp has been stopped. I think we play Scream, and then we play Spider-Man here just to move that Angela because they want to play in that location. But we don't have priority, which sucks. That's fine.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Alright, turn 5. I think we move the shield. And we play Cannonball. Alright, final turn. I think we move the shield. We play Prodigy to copy Cannonball again. And we play Miles here. Alright, so we put down Kraven, we play Miles, we play Prodigy to copy the Cannonball. Galacta? Okay. Oh my goodness, let's go. Victory. That was insane. That was insane. That was crazy. They're upset. I would be upset too. They're upset. Alright, so we have Prodigy, Miles, Captain America, and Scream. So nothing to play on 1. We have the option to play Sam Wilson or Scream on turn 2. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So they play Mindstone, so we know they have Thanos. Asteroid M. I think we go Scream, just because Asteroid M. I think we made the right choice. The Baxter building. So let's go Sam Wilson. Batroc? Let's do that. Like, are they gonna move the shield or not move the shield? That is the question. So Dazzler, Time Stone, okay. So they're not gonna move the shield. Let's move the shield. Let's go Red Guardian. It's Reality Stone. Ooh. That hurts, huh? But we do have Polaris. Let's move this. Let's go Polaris. Spider-Man. See what happens here. We do have Enchantress too. But that Polaris moves something over. Maybe we don't want to with the Batroc, but maybe the shield. Let's make sure our ordering's right. The shield only moves once per turn, right? Yeah, so the shield moves first. Then we go Polaris, and then Miles. We Marvel. So we get our Enchantress. I think we move the shield, and then we go Enchantress, and I think this gives us the game. I know I snapped late, but it's fine. So Scream, then I'm pretty sure that's Thanos, right?
Enchantress.
Or we could, and then Enchantress is gonna move. Spectrum.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, we're good. So GG's there. We didn't play Prodigy, but it's fine. We got the one. Played Batroc on 1. Ooh, this is spicy. We play Scream. Let's play Scream. Yeah, we play Scream. Surge. Let's go Kraven. Sam Wilson. Let's go Spider-Man. Let's see what happens. Interesting move.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
You play Galacta. Do we go Polaris? Spider-Man? Or do I go Spider-Man Prodigy? I think we could do that. Why would they play? Like, do they have a Luke Cage? What is going on? Do they have a Luke Cage or something? Can we just go Aero? I'm so confused on what's going on. They have to retreat. He's been... I don't know. He has to retreat. And they are just trolling.
Who will the winds bring?
And they lost.
Victory.
They put a lot of thought into that, but that Shang-Chi wasn't gonna do anything. So we have Washington DC as the first location. We have Prodigy, Cannonball, Scream, and Red Guardians. Nothing to play on 1. We'll play Scream on 2, and then Red Guardian on 3. That should be the line here. Ooh, Condon Embassy. Let's go Scream. Hawkeye. Alright, I see you. We have Volmir. Do I want to go Kraven? Or do I want to get rid of Kraven? Why not? Let's do it. Sorry, Kraven. Acid Arrow, okay. Grapple. So we're gonna put Prodigy behind screen. And we're gonna do some work. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some work here. Titania, debris. We could play Cannon. We have priority. Let's go Cannonball on debris. Just in case they try to use debris again. Okay, nice. Final turn. I think we could go Miles. Do we go Enchantress? Like, just because? Or do we go Polaris? Because I don't want to move the rock. But we can, because we'll have... And then I could play... I think this wins it. Cannonball moves Prodigy. Let's go.
Victory.
All right. So we have Sinister London as the first location, which can be very interesting. I really don't like it though. With this deck, I need room. We need room to breathe. But it could work. This could work. So they play Loki. I'm gonna go Spider-Man. You go Scream, which is scary.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
That sucks. But I think it changes after, right? And then you could go Red Guardian. At least we could cut down on one of these Screams. You're snapping. That sucks. That doesn't sound good. But we could play Prodigy after, right? Miles, Luke Cage becomes a Prodigy. Okay. All right, turn 4. So we could go Prodigy. Let's get rid of Batroc. The Prodigy is gonna latch on to Hulkbuster, so we should be able to do some sneaky stuff. So we're not out of this yet. Polaris moves Hulkbuster. I wanted to copy with Prodigy. I think we go Kraven, Aero. Goliath. I think we snap here. We play Cannonball. And we pray that Cannonball goes in the middle.
Who
Neighborhood Spider-Man here.
It's not moving anything. Oh my goodness, we take it. We take it. We're a little bit afraid. We're a little bit afraid.
Victory.
We're a little bit afraid, but we end up winning and taking 8 cubes. Oh my goodness. I was afraid, but in Cannonball we trust. But that was crazy how they moved my Hulkbuster. I really wanted that Prodigy like Hulkbuster thing to go off just for content. Just for content's sake. Let's go. So we have Cannonball, Scream, Polaris, and Red Guardian to start. So nothing to play on one, obviously. We have the Raft. Let's go Scream. We could play Red Guardian next. Fenris. It's not scary. Let's go Polaris. Let's go Spider-Man, Red Guardian. Let's turn off the Fenris. I'm sort of afraid of the Fenris. Galacta, okay. We could go Prodigy, Kraven. Prodigy's gonna copy the Scream. We snap. We have Gore. You go Cannonball. Gore. That should be fine. All right, they snap. So let's see if we can get another 8 here. Surfer.
Are ye worthy?
Wow. Red Guardian takes out Gore. Red Guardian takes out Red Guardian. Let's go. Oh my goodness.
Victory.
Another 8 cuber. Let's go. GG's. Batroc the Leaper first. And then we'll play Kraven. Ooh, Hood. Semi-scary. Let's go Kraven. There's the demon. Nowhere. That sucks. Let's go Red Guardian, just in case they try to copy this somehow. Luke Cage. Let's go Polaris. Iron Lad is Rogue. Interesting. Let's go Scream. Miles? Or do we wait to play Miles next turn, just in case? Pixie? What is going on here? Just think we go Enchantress, Spider-Man, see what happens.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Valkyrie?
Victory.
What are they playing? Interesting. Valkyrie? I don't know. Maybe they're... I don't know. I don't know. That's very interesting. I haven't seen this card in a minute. Alright, so we have Sam Wilson, Kraven, Enchantress, Red Guardian. So nothing to play on one. So we could go Kraven into the unknown. They play fire here. Let's go Sam Wilson. They play Fastos. So the shield's gonna make sure that Prodigy copies Kraven. What? Okay. Prodigy. Oh wow. So they're copying fire. Let's move him back over. Let's move Fastos. Just in case they try to destroy Fastos. I'm sort of afraid of that. Oh, they have priority, so they're gonna get that off. Now, okay. Interesting. Let's move the shield. Let's go Scream. And we could go Spider-Man. We go Spider-Man here. Oh, I lose. Go to the right? Nope. Nope. We lose. We lose bad. 18. Demon. Rock. Rigga. What's this last card? A rock. Woo.
Victory.
I forgot that we had Subterranea, so that was going to be a rock. I totally forgot. They were pulling rocks. Obviously nothing to play on 1. On 2, run to play Scream. Maybe not. Let's play, since we have Morag, let's go Sam Wilson. play Hawkeye. Let's move. Let's go Scream. And then we could play Prodigy and Spider-Man next turn. I'm pretty sure. Is this Acid Arrow? No, Esme. So we'll do this. We'll Subterranea again. So we'll move the shield. We'll play Prodigy. And then we'll play Spider-Man in the middle. We'll see what happens here. Basic arrow. Where's the other arrow? Acid arrow. I knew the acid arrow was coming, right? Turn 5. We move the shield. Let's go Polaris. And we're gonna move Hawkeye. Iron Man. So final turn here. I think we play Batroc. Oh. I think we could just go Enchantress, Batroc. Should be it.
Enchantress.
Ooh, even with a Shadow King.
Victory.
GG. So that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe, that like button, especially if you made it this far, right? Prodigy is good. Very, very good. And then even Scream. Scream is still good despite being nerfed a few times in Marvel Snap. I think this is a deck that is here to stay. I think it's like built off of that like old school Silky Smooth, and this is like the evolution of move decks. Instead of like moving things with like Ghost Spider and Human Torch and all that kind of stuff, this is the type of move that frustrates opponents as much, and I really do love it. Like I think Prodigy and Surge are the shining stars of this season so far. We'll see what else happens along the season, but I don't know. I think I might have to give the edge to Prodigy a bit. What do all of you think? What decks are you guys playing with Prodigy? Let me know down in the comments. Till next time, be safe, keep on snapping, and peace.